I am not an architect. I'm an electronics engineer with a passion for the environment. I have a serious concern. Our buildings are failing us. Innovation is my profession. But I ask you this: what if innovation, the very thing that is supposed to drive us forward, is actually putting our survival at risk? This is not new. Humans left their caves and began clearing the trees and building wooden homes. What has that done to the forests? We have embraced fossil fuels. What has that done to the planet? Every step of progress has come at a cost. The way we design and build our homes and offices is not just inefficient, it is actively harming us. Innovation is often pitched as the solution. Yes, electric cars can run on renewable energy, but they are heavier, they have greater torque than gas cars, so they produce more tire dust, which contains damaging chemicals. I grew up with two younger sisters in England, in a rural county called Cornwall. My father was a farmer, and my mother a piano teacher. My first memory of our childhood home was a small, warm house. My parents loved the sun and the heat that it provided, but we needed more space, so they bought some land to build a new home. My father could not wait to put on his innovation hat. He used a stick in the ground to cast a shadow at noon. This shadow was important. You see, my father knew that this shadow would provide information as to which direction our new home would face. He could have used a compass, but he was a man of simplicity and ingenuity. Unfortunately, the planning department wanted him to rotate the house. Why? Well, they said a house that faces the street is better aesthetically. How many of you have a house that faces the street? And it makes sense. However, my parents knew that facing south was more important, and for the next year fought a stressful battle. I remember my father coming home frustrated after yet another rejection from the planning office. But he did not give up. He fought for our home, and he fought for our future. I am proud and happy to say that I was raised in this house and it faced south. I learned a lot from this. This issue can affect our health, our comfort, and our finances. I learned that a house can be warm in the winter, naturally, and cool in the summer, naturally. My mother, now 91, still lives in this house. She grows half her food in the vegetable garden in a home where she and my father fought for sustainability. For the last decade, I have enjoyed working from home. It is funny how things become so obvious as you step away from the day-to-day. When I did work in an office, most were tall glass boxes. I remember sitting in the office. It was very hot and bright. My colleagues and I were sweating. We could barely read our computer screens. Yet on the north side, the AC was blasting cold air. Co-workers wearing beanies shivered with space heaters under their desks, trying to stay warm. This was a brand new, state-of-the-art building. And I was left wondering why. Why are there giant south windows that are not even double pane? Why is there a light above my desk that I can't switch off even when the sun is pouring in? And why is there only one AC for the north and the south sides of the building? Is anyone thinking of these issues? It pains me to think of how much energy is being used day after day just to keep that building habitable. And I don't think the situation in people's homes is much better. We have this amazing sun, 5,000 degrees Celsius. Every day it shows up, giving us heat and light, and yes, occasionally sometimes sunburn. I started studying how can we use this sun for the benefit of our buildings. I stumbled across this cumbersome name, passive solar architecture. But it's easy, because the Earth spins on a tilt of about 23 degrees. This gives most of the population of Earth a distinct summer and winter. We can design buildings with lots of south-facing windows to let in the winter sun and keep us warm. But we must include overhangs so that the high summer sun is shaded from the windows, keeping out the summer heat. And we achieve a building that is naturally designed for preservation. And if you live somewhere where the winters are very cold or the summers are very hot, these principles will still dramatically lower your heating and cooling costs. In 2013, I was lucky to have the opportunity to build my own house. Just like my father before me, my head was full of ideas. Passive solar, no natural gas, no toxic chemicals, and my new discovery of straw bale walls, not a traditional building material. I expected to have a fight ahead of me, but to my relief, the local planning office of my city embraced my design and sustainability goals. This is my house. You will see framing holding up the roof, but you will also see hundreds of bales of straw. When I brought this straw on site, people came from miles around to see. Fortunately, I did not get a visit from the big bad wolf. These bales became my walls, naturally insulating us. But they also locked away carbon dioxide, because if I hadn't built with these bales, they would have been burned. Natural clay plaster covers the walls. It's more than just aesthetics. It is fire resistant, it is local, and it regulates the temperature and the humidity. My finished house faces south, just like my parents'. Look at that beautiful overhang in the middle of the building. That is a real-life example of passive solar architecture. In the summer, that overhang completely shades the downstairs windows, and the large roof overhang does exactly the same for the upstairs windows, keeping out the summer heat. The east and west windows are tiny, also to keep out unwanted heat. With solar electricity, no natural gas, no heating system, no cooling system, passive solar architecture really is a marvel of simplicity focused on preservation. But green buildings are much more than that. According to the EPA, indoor air quality can be 2 to 5 times worse than outside air. Volatile organic compounds are a big contributor, and natural materials are much better. And according to the Department of Energy, LEED certified green buildings consume 20 to 30% less energy than non-green homes, some achieving savings of 60%. Think of all that energy over the 100-year life of a house. Higher initial cost is an investment in a future of lower energy bills and better health and well-being. Think of quietness, tranquility, and always being at the right temperature. This is what it is like in my home. Except my wife says, when our 3 children are home. You might find yourself thinking, well, I wish I knew some of this before I moved into my current home. There is a lot you can do to existing buildings. If you own a home, now is the time for you to put a stick in the ground and make some changes. Adding overhangs, upgrading insulation, eliminating natural gas appliances, and using natural materials can lower your energy use and carbon footprint. And if you have renters, think what you can do to lower their utility bills, improve their comfort and happiness. And if you're an architect, then maybe it's time to change the game. Thank you.